Talon is a B&M Invert located in DorneyPark, Pennsylvania. I had heard mixed reviews about this roller coaster. I was quite excited despite the mixed reviews due to theme park daddy's obsession with this ride. This ride looks like a typical B&M Invert other than its odd second half. And not to spoil the ending of the video, but this coaster surpassed my expectations, even though I did feel disappointed by some points of the ride. Before riding this coaster, the only two B&M Inverts that I had ridden were Vampire at La Ronde and Great Parrot Hershey Park. The first one not having the best experience on, the second one having an amazing ride. And at first I was worried that Talon would have the headbanging of Vampire, but whether or not it had the headbanging, you'll see later on in the video. First off, I wanted to talk about the negatives when it comes to Talon, and that is the lack of airtime. I had heard a couple people say that there were 1 or 2 moments of airtime on this coaster, but I didn't notice any, which is fine. That's not really what the B&M Inverts are made for anyway, but since some people were talking about it, I hope it'd have at least a little bit of lift. But it's alright that it doesn't. For the very experience of Talon, the lift hill had a nice view of the water park. And one thing I love about Talon, which really is not unique about Talon, is how you have a good view of the elements that you're about to get on. As previously stated, I'm aware that this is not unique to Talon, but I just love staring at what I'm about to experience while going up the lift hill. And loops are so iconic, so sometimes just seeing a loop from a lift hill is just really cool. I like most B&M curved drops. The first drop is just okay. It's just there. Although I find picking up speed is always really fun, so I still enjoyed the first drop, but it was just, like I said, there. The pull from the first drop into the first loop was pretty forceful, actually. I love that snap of suddenly going upwards that you have on the loops. It is just so fun. And then you slow, it's almost like you're slowing down for half a second, then you're just like zooming right down. Like a typical loop, but still, it's fun. Like, I loved that. And then right after, you head right into a 0G roll. The 0G roll is what a lot of people call a dud, and I can kind of see why, because these elements tend to be either graceful and floaty, or they're whippy, and this one was just kind of in the middle from what I've heard, and it was. So instead you just felt yourself fly around the track, but it was still fun, so I enjoyed it. You could call me a barbs the way that it doesn't take much to please me. After the 0G roll, you head down a little trench into an Immelman. My favorite part of the element was actually the trench before the Immelman, because it was just really intense. You felt the wind just blowing in your face, and it was just amazing. I loved how fun that part felt. And then it's almost like you just snap upwards into the Immelman. And the version of itself, it was fun. Something about flying around the track is just fun. Then you head into a weird helix. I remember thinking that it was intense, but really it wasn't. It was just fast and intense enough to be fun. Head into this area that before riding, I thought was a mid-course brake run, because I didn't really watch too many POVs, but apparently not. Going down, I heard it had an airtime moment, but I didn't notice it. The sudden dip was really fun though, because just picking up speed fast is always fun. And the unexpected corkscrew was smooth, yet kind of whippy. And then you head right into a forceful helix. I thought the helix before the dip was intense, but the one after the corkscrew is insane. There was just something about it that it felt like you were just being pressed into your seat and whipped around. You head into another little dip that was fun, and then into the brake run. I had gotten multiple rides on Talon, 4 in total. I got 1 towards the front, I got 1 near the back, 1 about in the middle, and then 1 in the very front row. The front row ride that I got was a very special ride to me. I rode in an edge seat with all of my siblings. It was about 3 to 4 minutes before the park closed, and I've got to say, it was one of my favorite coaster experience I'd ever got. The elements were just pure fun, and the wind in your face was amazing. It was a perfect farewell ride for the vacation, and fun fact, it's actually the last coaster I've been on. This was my last coaster experience. I find as coasters in general, they hit different at nighttime. I live far away from amusement parks, so having that last experience be such a great time was a perfect send-off. Hearing people call this a mid-tier B&M Invert really blows my mind. Out of the 3 that I've ridden, I consider this one to be my favorite. I rank it over Vampire due to that one's headbanging, which Talon didn't have any. And Talon feels more complete than Great Bear, but none of them are bad. I gotta rank this coaster an 8 out of 10. I got a knock for the lack of airtime, even if it was a false expectation on my end. Just the fact that inversions are my main interest. But it's still an amazing ride that was perfect enough for me, and the elements were just pure fun. Thank you for watching the whole video. I put a lot of work into these videos, so it means a lot that you watched it all the way to the end. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean a lot to me if you were to like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.